thanks for joining us on this week's Simpleton Review. We're glad you're here. We are going to be reviewing a wonderful album, at least I think it is. I'm not going to give away all the information or what kind of score I think it is, but it's pretty darn good. I'm just going to say that. So, I'm Nate Wade, Simpleton number 1.
And I'm Charlie Gibson, Simpleton number 2.
I'm Lemuel Edwards, Simpleton number 3.
And we have a guest host, I guess you could call him here.
Guest!
With us. Yes, Mr.
Guest Simpleton!
Mr. Drew Brown, who has, he lives over in Boise, Idaho, I believe, or Nampa, somewhere around. Where do you live exactly?
Nampa. Yeah,
the
South
Treasure
Nampa,
Valley. Let's just say that. You live in the Treasure
all
Valley.
The same, from my opinion.
It is all the same.
It's one big neighborhood.
You know, I went to school at Northwest Nazarene College there. Actually, Charlie did as well. What? Gosh, 30 years ago now, almost.
Yeah.
There was actually, country between Boise and Meridian on Fairview. In fact, Eagle and Fairview was still a four-way stop back at that point in time. It was pretty crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm actually just south of NNU, so I'm
okay.
right underneath it.
Sweet. Oh yeah, and back in the day, it was what? It was Anensi, right, Charlie? Anensi.
Anensi.
Northwest Nazarene College. That's how old we are. But yeah, in fact, the dorm we lived in is torn down now. But oh well, that's what it is. So Drew, tell us just a little bit about yourself. What do you do? That kind of stuff.
Well, I'm an audio engineer and also a minister. So I do a couple. I do Sip and Study. It's a Bible study podcast and help local area churches grow their missions ministry and their audio ministries.
Sweet. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Sounds good. And you stream what? Is it every Saturday morning? Is that what you do?
Yeah, Saturday at 8:30 Mountain Time.
Okay, and that's if you want to find a Bible study right now, you're going through Nehemiah, I believe. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, check Drew out. Fantastic study. And I think he's got his podcast that he used to do with a guy by the name of Anthony floating around somewhere on the internet. You can find that. What was the name of that podcast again?
That was Classless Chat.
Classless Chat. I'm not really sure why they called it classless. I mean, classless to me makes it sound like you're going to be dropping the F-bomb every 2 seconds. But
never did that, no, but we talked about some really stupid stuff. It was good.
So that's why it's classless. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Well, on this episode of the Simpleton podcast, we are going to be reviewing the brand new album by, I don't know what you want to call them, super group, weird group, amazing group. They've been known as the Gorillaz, and really, honestly, they don't actually know, nobody really knows... Well, they don't advertise their faces. It's pretty much like a cartoon band. So if you ever see them perform, it's pretty much just a cartoon. And they have special guests usually on their album. And this one is packed full of special guest singers on there. I mean, is it Robert Smith, I think his name is, from The Cure, which is a freaking amazing song. They've got Beck. They've got Elton John. It is just stacked full of amazing singers on there. So... as you can tell, I am really keen on this album. It is. I've listened to it at least 5 times, and I cannot get tired of it. There's so many different sounds. It's just heavily layered with sound after sound after sound, and you just constantly have to listen to it again to pick out all of the different beats and all the different synthesizers they've got going through it. It's just the production level of that album is just exquisite, totally good. So now that I've completely fanboyed over this album,
just gushed all over it.
Yes, I got.
We'll just kind of clean it off real quick, and not a problem.
Get that cleaned off right now.
You got the sanitary wipes, right?
Gonna need more than sanitary wipes. I'm just saying. Who wants to go first? Somebody else tell me what they thought of the new Gorillaz album.
Well, you can. I'll start because you can really see Danger Mouse shine in this one. Danger Mouse is he's like the production behind the production. He's generally the engineer of all the sounds and everything. Yeah, and is he's not the sole creator, but you can tell that he is a sole creator. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, there was more than just. You're saying engineering, but there was more than just engineering going on. I mean, there's definitely producing going on with that album, and you can tell that. Yeah, like you said, his influence, his fingerprint is on the album. Lemuel, what about you?
I liked it so much. It was.
I liked
me
it.
so
So,
very happy.
so truth be known,
It has to be.
truth be
actu-
known. Hold on, just a second, Lemuel. Truth be known, Drew texted me before we went on the podcast. He's like, "How deep do you want us to go on this?" Like,
Right.
I mean, so, and I said, "Well, Lemuel usually says I liked it." What did you just do, Lem?
Right.
That's it.
I was trying to find out. Do I need to point out which version of Moog they're using and like go on? Like, what do you want from me here?
Oh, goodness.
Okay. Do you really know what version he's using?
No.
Oh, okay. That would be freaking amazing if you did. Although I have a
wanted
friend
to
that
know.
probably could tell you. But anyways.
I got a couple guys are good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lem, go
Not
ahead.
me.
But like, I think it's probably my top 3 of the year. It just made me so happy listening to it. Almost every song hit for me. I think the song that had Beck on it was better than the album he put out earlier this year entirely.
I totally agree with that. Heck yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounded more Beck than
Then
the last
hyperspace?
album.
Yeah. Is that what's called hyperspace, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, Charlie, tell me. What's your thoughts on Gorillaz?
I dug it. I like that. Actually, if like you listen to everything that they're singing about, it is really depressing. I mean, everything was just a downer.
Which is
but
why
they made
I
it
loved
just
it.
like a party. I mean, it was like a party with like just like the worst. I mean, the worst of the worst. I mean, it was like
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it was happy music, right? I mean, hasn't
yeah.
hasn't Imagine Dragons made a complete career out of that? Like, all their songs are so
Yes.
happy and catchy, and you listen to the lyrics and you're like, I'm gonna go shoot myself.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing worth living for here. So, all right, Charlie, you got any more to say about it?
I really loved all the cameos, and
Okay.
and I was impressed because basically this is all a collection over what they've been doing for what is it? It's been a few months because they've been releasing this a bit at a time online for through like the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, they're
so
like-
that way it was kind of like a catch and release kind of thing, and then just collect it all at the end.
Sure. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. Drew, what about you?
Well, yeah. So, being somebody who likes to live in the industry, I go by play counts, and it's actually really interesting. So, overall, the entire album itself, one, I love it because it's the artistic album. You can tell they are not caring and they're not pushing for radio play, even though a couple of these are going to get more airplay.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're not pushing for it, and it's very obvious. This is what I consider a B-side album, which are by far my favorite type of albums because
Okay.
you get to actually know who the artists are, what they actually want to do, because quite frankly, they don't care about the radio because they don't need it right now. They're just
Yeah.
releasing it to release. And I will say, based by play count on Spotify, my favorite songs on this album are undercards and highly underrated by the general public.
Oh, yeah?
Dead Butterflies and With Love to an X, I would say, are
That is
two
a
of the
good song.
top songs on the album. And they are very low in the play count. In fact, the play count where Momentary Bliss, which I think was one of the ones they released early, is like super high in the play counts. And it is an incredibly overrated song on the album. It's actually my lowest rated score on the entire album. But that tells you how good the album is because that's not a bad song.
Yeah. I'm trying to bring up the track list now because I can't remember the names of the albums. So, my favorite.
I wrote them down.
Did you see?
You're
You're on it, and I'm
You're
not.
more prepared than us.
This is my own show, and I am not prepared. All right, that's how I go, just by the seat of my pants. So, what's the name of this album again? I can't remember. It was see, look at this. This is terrible.
Song Machine
Season 1. What is this? Starting. Oh, I can't read my own writing. Starting something.
My computer. My computer's getting
Strange
overloaded
Times.
because I opened up my internet.
There you go.
Strange
Strange
Times.
Times.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So, my favorite song, I think, is the one with Robert Smith from The Cure. I think that's the first track on the album.
Yes,
is
it
it
is.
not? That
Yeah.
that song just totally, man, that grooves my soul. I don't know why. First of all, I'm a big Cure fan. I love The Cure, and I love Robert Smith's voice. So that has a lot to do with it. But just the style of the song and just I don't know. It's just it's well put together. It's a well done song. In fact, the one that they've decided to go with. My video is totally frozen on my Zoom, I know, but don't worry, I'm recording in OBS. It should be fine, right? It should be fine.
We'll find out.
Yes, yeah, I guess we'll find out.
That's what I say when I walk out my door every day. It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. It's fine.
I haven't seen the mirror yet, but it'll be fine.
The one they're pushing right now is the one with Beck on it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I like
yeah.
that song, but it's honestly like probably my least favorite song on the album. I don't know if I like
Really?
it as much as some of the others. Like even some of the others with some of the hip hop artists and stuff that I don't even know who they are. I dug those songs a lot more than I do the Beck song. I mean, it's just really good. So
Yeah.
I have to say, the Friday the 13th song for me didn't land very well.
Why's that?
I just didn't like the sound too much. Like in my head, I don't know, it just kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, I don't know about this one. But then I also really liked the one with, I think it was like Earthcore was the name of the artist on it or something like that.
Yeah.
Earth Gang, yes.
Yeah.
I dug that a lot.
Yeah, it's good.
So-
I agree. This is probably one of the best albums of the year. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give my score right now because this is my show and I can go first. So I am going to give this. Look, we don't give fives around here very much, right? Have I given a 5 yet this year?
I think you've given maybe one?
Was that on an album?
I think you gave it to Fiona Apple.
Oh,
Yeah, yep.
Okay, well,
So,
Yeah.
just last
But
month,
that was
actually.
a good album.
well,
Don't
then
get-
I'm going to
don't
give
get me
another
wrong.
5 because this one deserves
Yeah.
a 5. The Gorillaz album is probably in my top 5 albums of the year. It really zoomed up there quick. I mean, I was grooving on Fiona Apple. I kind of liked the Pearl Jam album. Wasn't incredibly as happy with that as I wanted to be. But this album is Alanis Morissette is another one that I think is really top quality this year. I think it's her best album since Jagged Little Pill. Fantastic album. And Gorillaz. I've always really liked Gorillaz, even right when Clint Eastwood came out, clear up until the present. But I haven't said, okay, this is an album that I could just listen to over and over again. But this album, this is going to go on my shelf for something I'm going to listen to on a regular basis because it is fantastic. So a 5 from Simpleton number 1. Lemuel, let's go with you, Mr. Number 3. What do you give this review, or what score?
So I'm gonna give kind of a weird number, but I think I might go with 4.8. Just because the Friday the 13th song really didn't do it for me, but every other song on there,
Hold on,
so.
we've never divided things by.
Can I? Okay, I'll give it a 4.5 if I have
There you
to.
go. Go
but
for
I just
go
feel
for
like
it,
the.
You can be weird. We'll just give Lemuel gives it a 4.8 just because
Yes.
he has to be strange. Some crazy
Yes,
freaking
I'm okay with that.
Generation Y people anyway. All right.
Generation Z. Get
Oh,
it
sorry.
right.
Whatever you guys call
I
yourselves.
like my
don't know.
TikToks and I enjoy eating Tide Pods for breakfast.
I was born in the
Give me my
70s. I'm a
pedestal.
Gen Xer, and we're the best generation, even though we never get any credit for anything. But that's fine. It's fine. Charlie, what about you, my friend?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
Just because for me,
Man, you are tough.
I am tough, but I am also easy because it's hard to get below. It's hard to get below a 3, but it's hard to get above a 4. So it's like I see. I like Low Tom really well, but I gave them a hard score because it just again there were just some things that egged on me that just like you could have done better or it's like I liked hearing all the variety.
Yeah.
But like Elton John's song wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
When he ripped out in that operatic style.
It was
versus,
okay,
like,
but yeah,
it was okay.
His
there
vocals
were
were kind
songs
of
that
weak
were
on it.
they were okay. I mean, for a collection as great as the Gorillaz are,
Yeah.
this one was good.
Okay.
But they've done better. In my book, they've done better, and so
All right.
I'm gonna stick with a 4.
Okay, well, Charlie is always a tough cookie to crack. He has favorite albums, but man, they're few and far between. So, Mr. Guest Simpleton, why don't you give us your score? What do you think?
Well, I actually typically do a 4-star system. So
Okay.
with mine I did a 3.75, but I'm almost like
That's better than a 3.8.
No, right. I would say because of bumping it to a 5-star system, I would say it's a 4.5.
Okay.
It's one of those when you get into to me, because I rated every single song based off of enjoyability and creativity. And as far as enjoyability as an album, it's a 5. Okay. But as soon as you start looking at it as a creativity side, it actually bumps down to like a 4.25 because so much of it it's all produced by one guy basically.
Yeah.
You know, so much of it is the same basic formula that this is one where the whole is greater, or the sum is greater than the parts. And as an overall, the album is fantastic, but I have more 2.5s and 3s on here than I would like to have for something that I would say would be a 5.
Okay.
But as far as enjoyability for having an album, when I played through it the first time and I just let it go and I was just enjoying it, dude, I couldn't put it down. This was a killer album.
Okay.
But as soon as I started going in as a critique and saying, okay, if I'm giving critiques on this or engineering this, because I do actually have other mixing engineers who will come out and ask for feedback and adjustment technique on different albums, I had quite a few notes, but it's all taste. And it's all that one flavor, and it just shines through. So for as far as creativity, that knocked it down.
Okay. All right.
Agreed.
Well,
Yeah.
if we had the time, I'd like to delve into that deeper, but we don't have the time, unfortunately. So maybe we'll just have to. Maybe you and we could just do like a deep dive on an album sometime, and just do a podcast and do it that way. That'd be fun.
There you go.
Right on.
That'd be
Okay.
awesome.
Well, so there you have it. I give it a 5 because I guess obviously I'm easier pleased than everybody else, but
No, I feel like usually you're one of the harder ones too. I'm usually like
maybe.
giving up the
It may
higher
be.
ones, and
yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, everybody gave it over a 4, so it's a dang good album. Let's just put it that
Yeah,
way. And
it's
I think it would probably
worth listening
I
to.
think honestly, when it's said and done, I think you will find that most music reviewers will probably put it in their top 10 at the end of the year. That would be my guess. I could be wrong, but my guess is if you go to NPR or Rolling Stone or something like that, Gorillaz is probably going to be in the top 10 of the albums for this year. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right. Well,
should be.
now it's time to head into what we like to call here on the Simpleton podcast, pop culture happiness. Is that what I call it? I think that's what I call it. Yeah.
Culture
because-
happiness.
Culture happiness.
yeah. So let me just say, it's not. I don't come with that name because I'm super unique. I listen to this podcast called Pop Culture. What is it called? Now I don't even remember what it's called.
Happy Hour.
Happy Hour, yeah. and they do a thing called What's Making You Happy. So it's kind of a ripoff of that, but I've listened to that podcast for probably 12 years now. So anyway. All right. So let's start with our guest, Mr. Drew. What kind of a happiness do you got going on this week?
Well, this was fun. You and I had a Facebook debate on who got to actually talk about
Yeah,
it.
we did. didn't we? And I'm telling you what. I'm okay. You go for it, and then
I
I'll
pulled
tell
the
you.
guest.
Go ahead.
I pulled the guest card.
did,
Sorry.
you did.
Yeah. Animaniacs. The reboot of Animaniacs. Love the fact that they're totally razzing themselves
Yeah.
for selling out and rebooting just like everything else. I will say. I love the concept. I love what they're doing. The artwork, just as the new form, but going the same route, but with the new technology
Sure,
and the new way
sure.
of everything's doing with vector lines. Amazing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just kind of miss, and maybe this is because I'm a product of the 90s and I want to live off Ninja Turtle pizzas and watch Animaniacs all day. But I kind of miss a little bit of the edginess, like some of the things, because the PC realm has shifted so much.
Yeah.
I'm some of these things that I wish they would go back
Yeah.
and do. They're not going there. But
Well-
overall, I am so happy to see it back, and my kids love
That
it.
was
So that adds it.
That's awesome. That was evident with the change in the theme song. Where they said they were going to be pronoun neutral.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, actually, it is kind of funny. But how many episodes have you seen so far, Drew?
We're 3, so we're trying to pace ourselves.
Okay.
Pace
Well,
ourselves.
there's some coming up that are pretty dang funny. There's one where you find out where all of the side characters have gone, which is really like it's actually kind of disturbing in a.
I would watch an entire series of Slappy Squirrel, so I'm just saying.
Well, let's just say, just keep in mind, No, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep it.
Let me find
I'll
out.
tell you what, though, when I turned on
DM me later.
when I turned on that cartoon, and I say that lovingly, it's just an amazing animated classic, is what it is. I cried. I mean, I was just like literally, I had to like hold myself up against the wall. I was like, I am in my happy space. Thank you. I mean, this is the best thing to happen to me in 2020. It would have been the best thing to happen to me in any year because I have always been the biggest Animaniacs fan you'll probably ever meet. I mean, there was a group of us, speaking of Northwest Nazarene College, there was a group of us that used to get done with our class and we would run to the dorm to watch Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, and the Fox version of Batman. They had Mark Hamill doing the voice of the Joker, which that was those were the cartoons, and I loved it. And of course, Pinky and the Brain was my favorite. I was one of those people that just totally fell in love with Pinky and the Brain, and had a Pinky and Brain mouse pad, T-shirts.
I remember the mouse pad.
Oh,
I
still have it somewhere.
very much remember the mouse pad.
Anyways, I am total geek boy when it comes to Animaniacs, so I am a bit jealous that Jew got to bring that, but since he's the guest, I'll let him do it. So I'm going to go next, but I am going to talk too a little bit about another cartoon that I'm kind of excited about. There's a lady, an actress by the name of Chloe Grace Moretz. Okay, anybody ever heard of her? I don't even know what movie she's been in. I kind of recognize her, but I don't. Anyway, she's caught up in between one of the most beloved rivalries of all time. There is a movie coming out that's going to be debuting in March of 2021 in theaters, if the pandemic allows, of course, I'm sure. But it features a cat and a mouse.
Tom and Jerry.
By the name of Tom and Jerry, yes. And it is actually a live action Tom and Jerry movie. So Tom and Jerry are animated, but there are live characters. And so Chloe Grace Moretz is going to be
Garfield?
The star.
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry are the star. And it's also going to have people in it like, where I saw the names here, it's going to have Colin Jost from Saturday Night Live, Ken Jeong, Michael Pena, who you guys would know from with the Ant-Man. He plays the friend. The really funny,
the talkative one.
Yes, that's Michael Pena.
The friend.
Yeah. The one who took the truth serum. Yeah, the one who took the truth serum. And Rob Delaney. But it looks really good. I mean, it's one. Tom and Jerry is another one of those cartoons that has been an unfortunate victim of political correctness, and it's not as funny as it used to be. And yes, I understand there's plenty of racially insensitive things that happen in the old version of Tom and Jerry, but. Look, Chuck Jones, Tex Avery, they are some of my heroes, man. I'm telling you, they had some of the best cartoons ever done in Tom and Jerry, and then of course some of the Warner Brothers cartoons that they did as well. So, Charlie, let's go for you. What's your pop culture happiness?
Well, because we're coming up on Christmas time, I'm kind of excited about.
Please don't bring another $400 blow dryer thing.
This is even better because this is also about my wife because. We were going to end up going to the Nutcracker. And I was like, oh, my God.
Okay.
I don't mind ballet, but at the same time, it's like, I saw that what's coming is hip-hop Nutcracker.
Hip-hop.
So it's going to be street dancing Nutcracker. Now, I think it's all got to be live streamed because I don't think they're going to bring a live act during this time, but I saw that on the Morrison Center website, and I'm like, yes, if I'm going to have to go to the Nutcracker, I'm going to see, like you're going to see 80s like breakdancing and stuff. So
now, are they actually doing that kind of stuff over there in Boise? Are they having events like that, letting them go?
No. Well, things are starting to creep back in. Like one of my usual hangouts should be doing a concert in the next couple of weeks, but we're going to see if they're actually going to be opening because we did step back to phase 2, but the venue's been open for other things.
Okay.
Of course, because it's a bar.
Yeah.
So, but they've been open for other things, but at the same time, nobody's done show. I mean, all the shows that I've been to are a bit outdoor.
Yeah.
And so,
well, you could probably have like concerts on. Well, not now, but in the summer or something. The Ford Amphitheater probably would have been able to have some concerts at the Idaho Center, whatever it's called there. Yeah.
But that's if they can control the amount of tickets and everything, because the thing is about concerts, you're going to have a big enough band to draw a big enough, crowd to sustain. So I've seen like smaller acts that aren't a huge draw, but are fantastic. I mean, obviously the pigeon dance drawing that I did that's shown up on the website that came from one of the shows. Yeah. That I went to during the summer. This I think they're going to do it online. I think they're going to do a streaming. But if I'm going to have to watch it, I think I'd enjoy it with like a little more street dance.
Yeah. They have to do the robot dance at some point if they're going to do.
There is the robot dance is in there. I think it's part of the dance of the sugar plums.
Nice.
Okay, I would think that it'd be like the Nutcracker himself would be more of a robot dance, not the sugar plums, but whatever.
Well, no, I mean I don't even think they're sticking to like. I don't know if they're exactly sticking to the story or how they're doing it. Mm-hmm. I've only seen like a few little promos, and you'll probably find that on the links here. But see some like video footage of it. But
Tell you what, yeah, I can. I don't know. I was just thinking of some sort of hip hop Nutcracker. What would that be? Would it be like?
well, see, it's just the music. The music stays the same. It's just the dancing changes.
How are you going to dance to a ballet hip hop style?
You see it. You'll see it. It actually flows with the rhythms. I mean, they just kind of add some beat to certain spots, and you can do it.
Wow. I'll tell you what, everyone. We have been Alexander Hamiltonized. That's what's going on here.
Exactly.
Not that that's bad, I guess, but that's what's happening. So, all right, Lemuel, what are you doing? You playing a game? What's going on there?
No, I'm texting my wife.
You're up, buddy. Oh,
Close
texting
enough.
the wife.
So,
Don't come into this room.
Wife,
Don't
schmife,
come into this room.
whatever.
no, I'm
on a
my cat's
podcast,
being
I
a dweeb. I'm
promise.
trying to get her to handle the cat. But anyways, so my thing is not video game related for once.
Whoa.
Or YouTube related even.
Whoa.
It is about one of my probably favorite animation studios of all time. I have my dad to thank for that, honestly. But it's gotten so to the point where they used to release movies in theaters around my birthday. So like my wife and I would go see their movies.
true, yeah.
But Pixar is dropping a movie on December 25th called Soul. So as long as I did my research right, that's what it is.
Yeah.
For when it's coming out. But I'm excited. I can't
Have any of you guys seen the previews?
I have.
Yeah,
I have.
it looks
Yeah.
good.
It looks good. So now is that one going straight to stream?
Yes. And I think
Okay.
it's going straight to Disney Plus. It's not going to be like what they tried to pull with
Mulan.
They're not going to make you charge an extra $30 plus have a subscription to Disney.
I
That was a
probably would
fiasco.
pay the $30 for this movie.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That would probably be it. Well, it looks
If
like
I paid for Bill and Ted, I'm gonna pay for Soul. 'Cause Soul does look better.
it
than
does.
Bill and Ted's.
Jamie Foxx, right? It's Jamie Foxx who plays the main
It's hard.
character.
It's hard to look better than Bill and Ted. Come on.
I'm telling
I
you.
mean,
Point
if, there was
taken,
an,
point
if they would
taken.
if they would come out with like Wayne's World 20 years later, then I might go for that too.
Dude, wouldn't that be amazing? Oh, I'd be,
We're spawning this thought right here. Come on.
We're not
Dragon Warriors,
worthy.
step in there.
so
Come
good.
on. Dana Carvey, come back.
Yeah.
Come back, Dana Carvey.
Do you know he lives in Missoula, Montana? He's actually from Montana. I didn't realize that.
I did not know
Hey.
that.
If Rick Moranis can make a comeback in a commercial, Dana Carvey can make a
Yeah,
comeback.
but did
We
you
can
see
do
what
it.
happened to Rick Moranis and his comeback?
I know.
Somebody
Got
sucker
what?
punched him on the
Yeah,
sidewalk.
I saw that.
Oh yeah, I saw that
What is
video.
this?
It's
I
crazy.
missed this. What
He's
is
just
this?
like walking down the road and some guy just like socks him in the
Yeah.
face for no reason. Literally no reason. Unprovoked, just walking down the street.
Yeah, and you're talking about Rick Moranis, who's like 5'4", and probably weighs about 140 pounds soaking wet. I mean, come
you
on.
know-
yeah,
You know,
Supposedly
he's not
the
gonna
guy
retire.
didn't
this,
even
he
know who it
probably
was.
said something that started this. You know
Rick
that he's got that character.
Supposedly the
you
guy
think
didn't
him
even
as
know who
being
it was.
quiet. I bet you anything he pulled something like just to like egg the guy on.
He's Canadian, eh? No way, you
Hey,
hoser.
yeah. Hey, take off, you hoser. You knob, come back. I'll give you one for you. Come on, bring it.
I gotta
Give
go
me a
watch that
brisky
movie. So
now.
good. That movie's so dumb, but it's so good. I gotta
Right?
go watch that movie. Anyway.
We're gonna go play steamroller now. Come on, eh? We're gonna like roll
Yes.
over each other.
Okay, if you guys don't know what movie we're talking about a Rick Moranis classic. I believe it has Jeff Daniels in it too. Is that correct? I can't remember who's
it's
his
not Jeff Daniels.
It's not Jeff
It's
Daniels.
his co-host from the SCTV show when they used to do the weather.
There's plenty
the
of
Canadian
SCTV
weather.
co-hosts. Could be Jim. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, it's from way back. I don't even remember the guy's name.
Okay.
but
All
they
right.
used to do the news show on the SCTV.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you guys don't know what movie we're talking about, it's called Strange Brew. Now, if you're a good Christian person and you believe that we should not drink or even have jokes about alcohol, do not watch the show. But
darn.
if you like Rick Moranis and you like really bad, terrible humor with really stupid jokes, and you went to college at any point in your life, go watch Strange Brew because it is fantastic. Just saying. All right.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs and a couple of pinkies, eh? I mean,
It is
yeah,
one of those
he's
movies.
right.
The first time you watch it, you're like, "Why did I just watch this movie?" And then you watch it again, and you're like, "Oh, I'm starting to get it." By the 10th time, you're like, "This is classic. Movies can close down. There doesn't need to be another movie ever made because this one's perfect." Anyways,
The apex.
we got to sign off. We're running out of time here. So, I'm just going to say we gave, I can't even remember what, I gave the Gorillaz a 5. I gave it a 5. Drew, what was your score again on the
4.5.
4.5, 4.75. We can go with that. That's fine too. Charlie, what about you?
And I gave him a 4.
And Lemuel is
strict
just
self.
weird. So anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, Lemuel, would you tell me your score? Sorry.
I mean, I guess a 4.8, but it sounds like I'm getting some flack for that, so never step out of your comfort zone, boys. That's what I'm
Words
being
to live
told
by.
here.
From the guy who's texting his wife, I swear it's podcast time.
Okay, I'm yelling at my cat. My cat's attacking my door because it's overly clingy, and so I was telling her to hide the cat somewhere else.
All right.
That you had to defend it. That's what's too bad.
Yeah.
I have way too many thoughts going through my head. I'm just gonna.
Now you know why the show is called Classless Chat. All right.
All right. Well, I'm Simpleton number 1, Nate Wade.
And I'm Charlie Gibson, Simpleton number 2.
I'm Lemuel Edwards, Simpleton number 3.
And our guest today is
Drew Brown.
Drew Brown. And Drew, do you have any? Do you have social media that people can hook up with you if they want? Do you got Twitter or anything like that?
I mean, I'm old school. I'm on Facebook. If you want to see all my gluten-free cooking, you can find me on Instagram too. Whatever.
Again, he has a podcast that he hasn't done anything for at least a couple of years now. I guess has it been somewhere around there?
Yeah, it's been about 2.5, 3 years for Classless Chat. But the Sip and Study, you can find that at sipandstudy.org. You can find us on Facebook at Facebook/sipandstudy, or you can find the podcast version on Spotify or wherever it is that you enjoy your streaming.
That's right. And even if you're not a church-going person, I would highly recommend checking out Drew's stream and checking out the Bible study because he's it's not all this heady stuff. He's not using all of these crazy theological terms. It's really very I won't say basic, but it's what's the word I'm looking for, Drew? Help me out here.
It's not seminary, but here's the deal with it. What we do different is we actually dig into the history, and so we actually put everything fully in context. Yes. And so we keep it at a level to where everybody can understand. We explain things to where everybody can understand, but we put it in a full context of what was going on in history, the who, what, when, where, why, and then link it all back and forth so that you can actually understand what's happening with what's in the text.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds great. So, guys, check it out. Well worth your time. Well, I am Nate Wade. I'm telling you, have a wonderful week. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Simpleton Review.